Okay, so I'm recording this just after the FOMC announcement. Just like expected, the Fed is holding rates the same, right? And then right now there is a press conference going, and there's just a lot of talking about waiting for, inflation to make progression more towards the 2%, waiting for tariffs to kind of, show that the worst is over. And that was all expected. Now, I want to talk about the Bitcoin chart. I want to talk about Mara stock. And I added another $10,000 today to the BitU swing trade. Now, it's down a little bit right now, but that's expected. And I kept saying that I like to accumulate early. I've said this in many other videos, and I explain why in those videos as well. But I am accumulating early with the idea of Bitcoin still coming down lower. So even though I'm accumulating, I still believe the price can come down lower before we hit that $128,000 price target on my charts. Now, this is all just my opinion, and everything I say, of course, in this video is my opinion and how I'm approaching Bitcoin and the charts I'm gonna be going over today. Um, so in no means am I telling anyone to copy, but I do like to express what I'm doing and just keep you guys updated. So yeah, the announcement happened. Rates are kept the same. The Fed is under a lot of pressure to cut rates for so many different avenues that are, putting pressure on them. But one of them primarily is the one I'm focused on is the U.S. debt and how important it is for the Fed to lower rates just for them to be able to print more money. And that's just digging themselves in a deeper hole. But it sets up a lot of these growth assets to have a really bright rest of 2025 and beyond as well. Um, so I'm very much looking forward to rate cuts just for money to be flowing into growth assets. But as of right now, with Bitcoin and everything we're looking at, I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna show you guys what I want to say by illustrating it. So in previous videos, we've been talking about this early support area potentially being reached more likely than the price going higher and reaching the alternative short-term bullish pathway, mainly due to short-term optimism in the market. But now, since the price broke below the swing low, we can finally invalidate this zone. And I kept saying it wasn't super likely. It's not something that I am, personally expecting to be high probability. It's much more likely for the price to come down lower, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So now, to continue forward, I'm not saying that I am primarily expecting the price to find support within this area. It absolutely could, but it could be just a short-term support where it comes down, it hits short-term support, and then allows the price to rally back up into a new resistance imbalance zone that we can draw. Yesterday we were keeping an eye on this drop and how high it can go. It never broke the zero point 0.5 retracement at 118.8. Just like in this one right here where we were coming down, it never broke the retracement that I had drawn at the time, but I delete them so I don't have too much stuff on the chart at once. And now we're going down lower. I gave you guys this area as another, extension of how far, just like here and just like here, how far down the price can go before finding support and having a little bit of a bounce. Again, we are at support. We can go deeper, but we're still waiting for the RSI to bottom out. Even if the RSI bottoms out and the price goes deeper, I'm not expecting the price to just go up and break these swing highs and just start, making new all-time highs at that point. This is a short-term support area for another bullish recovery within this downtrend, and then of course the primary overall support will be around 110k, ideally 110, 111. It can even find support a little sooner because of course we have overlapping support areas, and this can be very strong. But regardless, the overall view is down no matter what the short-term noise is. And just like in previous videos, I said that, this anticipation into a important headline news event could easily be a sudden news event moment, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But this doesn't mean that we're just going to continue to drop. We're going to have some short-term bullish corrections. We'll be looking at signs. I'll keep you guys updated on that as we continue forward through the rest of this week. but basically, we're looking for short-term signs of strong bullishness to continue supporting shorter-term small picture higher lows and higher highs, and use that to see if we did bottom out and if the price is going to continue higher. But as of right now, until we have that, and um, until that happens, the overall view is still coming down into this overall red support area. And in case you guys are new, the reason I like to accumulate my swing trades early is because BitU is in the U.S. stock market, and a lot of important break of structures in Bitcoin happen usually during closed market hours. So I'd rather be early, and DCA my swing trades into overall support, and then from there go up higher. And I did this, back here. And I'm doing it again. I've done it many times in the past. It's all about understanding, the most realistic view, at least in my opinion, going forward. And again, that's overall support. We can even draw real quick before, and it's already there. So it's just gonna overlap, but I'm just doing it in front of you guys so you can kind of understand what I'm looking for. So it's if you guys like Elliott waves, it's a simple, we have like a 3-wave move within the first one, super extended, long-lived third wave, and then from there, we bottomed out, and then higher price, being this swing high right here. So it gives this area, and it just shows that with current existing momentum, we can easily see the price come down and easily hit and break 110k. In the short term, it can break below 112, enter in the 111, and then try to find support, around that 110k area, and that's what I'm primarily looking at. So as of right now, I'm just being patient because of course we got to let this play out. Short term, we can find support very easily when the RSI bottoms out within this extension support area. Any bullishness from here, as of right now, it's just going to be something like this and something like this, where it's a little bit of a bullish fake out. We had a strong candle right here, but as you can see, the candle never broke over that previous resistance line, and then we just started dropping lower. We have a new low that was created within the structure. So again, there's no reason to be overly optimistic and hyped up in the short term. It's very important to understand where short-term value is in Bitcoin. And right now, I believe the majority of the value is going to be when we start breaking below 115k. So that's Bitcoin. And the market is still open as well. It closes in about an hour, US stock market. So let's go over Mara stock. Now, in previous videos, I kept saying that ideally, I would like to see the 0.5 retracement in Mara being broken around 15.68. And there's a lot of mixed news on Mara and its potential. A lot of people are very disappointed with the company, and a lot of people are very optimistic with the company. So we do have its quarter report recently came out, so I want to break it down I want to break down the internal numbers and look at what really matters for its growth. So I'm not going to talk about it today, but I do want to take time to break it down and then kind of give you guys my take on it, what I'm looking at, and what I believe is most important with when it comes to just analyzing the internal numbers of Mara. But going forward, now the moment we break below this swing low right here, I'm just gonna invalidate the retracement in white. There was an opportunity for early accumulators to sell, but due to macro influence and this FOMC, we're seeing Mara come down more. And I kept saying in previous videos, like, I don't care what the short-term noise is, rather we continue to come down, or we have some bullishness. In that case, I wouldn't expect the price to really break much into this area. But thankfully, we're seeing discounted prices now instead of later, because it will allow Mara to come into that overall deeper value discounted portion. This is all, in case you guys are new, I've been keeping track of this for a while, and it's very similar to the way I got this area and the way I got this area. It's just it's just bigger picture value areas for strong support. Um, and it usually doesn't matter what the macro environment looks like and the overall macro like emotions in the market from institutions and real retail traders. So really, this idea right here is just to show where Mara could potentially be overextended in the short term and where we can see overall bigger picture supports created. Now, this is all just my opinion, and the whole purpose of a lot of these, I've said this before, but a whole lot of these fib extensions and retracements are just to represent high probability where we can start seeing volume shift and allow the price to have a reversal and then break short-term structures to allow the price to continue to the opposite direction of whichever direction it first broke into. So right now we're breaking into it. To break out of it, we want to see a lot of that short-term volume influence begin to really shift. And usually we see that once we hit the zero point 0.5 retracement, in this case, $15.68. So no matter what happens, wait, 1 moment, hold on, I messed up. There we go. Okay. So no matter what the short-term noise looks like in Mara, basically, I am looking for continuation of lower prices. We can see fluctuations. That's absolutely fine. We can even still see this imbalance value area being tested, although it's very important to understand that any potential test into this area can easily be wiped out, and we can continue the overall trend down. In the bigger picture, if you guys like 3-wave corrections and Elliott waves, none of this is reliable. Excuse me, it's super concentrated, it's super fluctuative, no clear structure until now. So if we do have a pump, it can just be a simple second wave with a messy first wave. And that's just another way to basically of me saying that any pump we see now can just be a potential fake out. But if that happens, we'll be looking at short-term signs that the bullishness within that pump can sustain itself. But as of right now, realistically, and just like I've been saying in many other videos, before we can allow or for Mara to be healthy enough to allow itself to go up into the next take profit area, I would like to see the price come down even more and ideally breaking into the low 15s. But it will be, in my opinion, and this is where you guys should do your own due diligence. But in my opinion, the moment we break into the 15s and then start briefly breaking into the 14s, that's like a no-brainer accumulation opportunity. Now, the price can easily come down all the way to the 0.618, $14.30, and even break below a little bit. But the purpose of this is that we're going to start seeing a lot of bullish volume attempt to present itself. If it's strong enough, we'll see the volume decrease, and then when the volume increases again, it will be an opportunity for the price to reverse higher and then have a ton of fluctuations on its way up. And it can look as simple as a V-shaped recovery, not as realistic as like it coming down into below the 0.5, and then using the fib structures and imbalance areas as support and resistance. So it'll look like that, where it wants to stay within the area. It can break out of it and have a second test, go up. There's enough of a value gap right here to act as resistance. The idea is that at that point, let's say the price comes down here, I would just be following the price higher into the imbalance. We'll be looking for support to hold, and and then from there going up higher, breaking the imbalance, and then finally entering within this area right here. So there's a lot of ways this can play out. So I don't want to cause any like confusion or overwhelm anyone. That's why I always like to focus on my simple fib levels that act as important value gaps or important value zones. So as of right now, just like in in previous videos, no matter what the short-term noise is, the idea is, and I'm gonna keep it simple, is that I am looking for the price to eventually break the 0.5 level at $15.68. I want to see the price come below that. It's as simple as that. I don't care how long it takes to come down below this area. I don't care if it has like, you know, pumps making it look like the low is in potentially. It can easily come back down, just like we've seen back here where we came into the accumulation area. Where there's value, the price recovers higher. Even if that happens, I don't expect it to be as aggressive as this. But it goes up higher. Bullish fake out, doesn't break over this swing high. Has one more low. See, one more low, and then from there was enough of a value where the bulls really want to push the price higher. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I don't care what happens. The idea is that I personally believe that the majority of the value is between $14 and $16, pretty much. So I'm looking for the price to come down here. Again, doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter what the structure does in between then. The idea is that I want the price to reach this section of the fib support level. It's as simple as that, right? And as Bitcoin comes down, and look at that, I had another push down even more. So what I'm going to be doing is keeping an eye on Mara. I want to see it come down deeper into that discounted range, and then I'll be keeping an eye on Bitcoin, and I'll continue to accumulate as the price comes down into 115 and below, allowing it to come down into deep value. It can even go a lot deeper than this. Is why risk management, or at least understanding your risk tolerance, comes into place. Because I am investing a decent amount into this trade, and I still believe that the price can come down much more. It can easily come down to 110,000 roughly. Like, it can come down a lot more, and this is super like nerve-wracking for a lot of people that just can't watch red numbers in their position, because it freaks them out. To me, this is absolutely fine. I'm not investing any money, or I'm not putting any money into a trade whatsoever that I am not okay with completely losing. The idea is that I believe that Bitcoin has the opportunity to reach 128,000 as the next leg up. But just like in so many videos, I've been saying that an overall retracement is very much high probability. So as you can see, this area doesn't seem that deep in the bigger picture, but it does present a reasonable higher low for the bulls to end up picking up a lot of that volume and potentially taking the price higher, past all-time high, and then hitting and breaking the 1.236 extension at 128,000. It's as simple as that, right? I don't care how long it takes. The idea is that I'm just participating in this swing trade as it makes sense and as my plan tells me to. So overnight and multiple nights, when volume picks up on Bitcoin and it has big movements during closed US market hours, the idea is that I'm already accumulating early and I am setting up for the next run up. Now, it's basically as simple as that. So I'm waiting for Bitcoin to come lower. There's a nice imbalance. We can easily see the price end up having a bullish correction. Again, there's very reasonable retracements that can be drawn out, but it's so clear where it would fall that I don't need to draw any more fib areas. We're just waiting to see when it finds support within this area. Could be a short-term trade opportunity for anyone that cares for that, but the idea is that if you're overly greedy or overly optimistic, retracements can fill very quickly and then drop. So you want to be very attentive on your charts as you see fit with your strategy. Regardless, fluctuations, short-term noise doesn't matter. The overall view is still down until we have bullish confirmation, and then from there, keeping an eye on Mara as Bitcoin also drops, and seeing if we can potentially have a chance to capture Mara below $16 ideally. in the 14s in this area. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it made sense. I'll keep updating you guys on the Bitcoin chart and my swing trade, and then from there we'll keep going forward throughout the rest of this bull market cycle. Um, we're just having right now a reaction, still a news event as expected with the FOMC meeting. When a lot of this, begins to fade away, it's part of the past. Again, we'll see. We've seen this happen so many times, like back here, like it happens so many times, and yet the price still pumps up higher. There's a ton of fundamental reasons why I believe that. I believe we'll see the same thing again. It's not biased, it's not FOMO, it's not hyped or optimistic. It's just realistic. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.